Last night was a very special evening. The Game Awards, the prestigious event that brings industry veterans together as the best games of 2023 are decided. Todd Howard was in attendance. He was there, all smiles, ready to pick up all his awards for Starfield. Unfortunately, it was the night that he'd been dreading. He'd had bad dreams about this. As the announcers got on stage and across multiple categories, all he could hear was, "The winner is Baldur's Gate 3. He slowly got smaller in his chair, doing his best to clap, all smiles, fake smiles at that, because Starfield won absolutely nothing. The big zero. What happened, Todd? This was meant to be your new IP, the groundbreaking space title you've talked about for years and years. 9 years in development. It's been talked about since Fallout 4. It was trademarked all the way back then. You've talked and talked about it, you've hyped it up, and now there's crickets. At least on the positive side of things, people do talk about your game, but it's only to take pot shots at it. People are frustrated because they waited so long for the true follow-up to Skyrim, and you produce this. I think I understand now as well why this has happened, because if you think about it, Todd Howard has never made a good game where it's been his own original IP. They talked a lot about how Starfield was Bethesda's first original series in many, many years. Maybe it's for the best that that never happens again, because some people do like Todd's Fallout games. He didn't create Fallout, it was created many, many years ago. There's those great isometric Fallout games, very deep titles, great RPGs. Then Bethesda bought the series. Some people like what they did with it, but it wasn't Todd's idea. Elder Scrolls is the same. He started with Bethesda on Morrowind, at least that was the first game he directed. Great game, but again, not Todd's original idea. He doesn't have a great imagination. Just stick to what you are, or at least were competent, Todd. Just make a world, an open world that's nice to explore. It's the only thing anyone cares about with your games. Your quest lines, your graphics, your combat, your RPG systems. Most of it is rubbish in your games. We just want the world, Todd. Go back to that. What is your legacy gonna be anyway? If we go back to Skyrim, if you'd retired there, sure, people would have considered you probably a legendary developer in the modern day. I mentioned Morrowind was very good. Many other people do like Oblivion, they do like Skyrim as well. But in a post-Starfield world, what is your legacy going to be? Who's laughing now? The audience is, Todd. We're all laughing at you, at your company, at Microsoft. Because you were absolutely incompetent. You had a game hyped to the moon, and it fell over during takeoff. Everyone went home. No one wants a bar of it. And sadly, there's many passionate people who've been burned, because today, one of the most prestigious modders in the Bethesda community, he's quit. He's had enough. This particular modder, he is known for developing a quite prestigious Skyrim mod that's extremely popular. It's the Skyrim Together mod, and essentially it brings online play to Skyrim. It's had 1 million+ downloads, there's 1 million+ views on the installation video, and essentially you're able to play Skyrim in co-op with your friends or with strangers, meaning people online, and you can complete quests, fight, explore the world. I miss those times where you could explore in a Bethesda game. Those times are gone now, but they were very nostalgic. The reason this is important though is this modder was going to take Skyrim Together and adapt that to become Starfield Together, meaning you could play Starfield with all your friends who love the game just as much as you two. Probably not a big group of people who'd take up that mod actually, but that was the plan. Starfield Together, it was going to be online. It could have been Starfield, the MMO. Unfortunately, plans have now changed because this particular modder, this creator, he had the unfortunate experience of actually playing Starfield and experiencing the game and all its content. Once that happened, the mod didn't stand a chance. He's gone on what I assume is a modders Discord group to share his thoughts, to share a bit of an update. And here's what he says. Hey everyone, let's talk about Starfield. When this game released, I was hyped, just like a lot of other people, but probably for different reasons than most. I spent launch day and a few days after reverse engineering the game. So it sounds like rather than jumping in, experiencing the story, getting into that exploration, all those incredible planets, he got into the technical side. He was coding, he was dreaming, he was thinking about how can I bring online to this brand new incredible Bethesda game, this Skyrim successor. He was only thinking about the technical side of things. And he goes on to say, I ported over gameplay hooks from Skyrim Together to a potential Starfield Together mod. So essentially taking a lot of that work that he did on the Skyrim version of this, he was ready to get it all into Starfield. I ported about 70% of Skyrim Together reverse code and got that into Starfield Together. So a fair bit of work was done, potentially 70% of that work. All ready, all completed. We were all going to be able to play this game all together with our friends. There was just one problem. This game is fucking trash. It's a moment of acceptance, isn't it? You want to love this game, you've been hyping it up in your head for months, maybe even years. You think this is going to be the next big thing, the next huge experience that you want to be part of. You don't want to miss out on this. But unfortunately it wasn't. Bethesda, they did what they did. We were screwed over. I, like many others, spent $100+ on the special edition. I wanted to play it early. I was let down just like you were. I'd give you a hug if I could, brother. We were in the trenches together. But, he says, I didn't realize this until after I actually started playing the damn game a week after launch. The game is boring, it's bland, and the main draw of Bethesda games, exploration in a lively and handcrafted world, it was completely gone. It was all gone. Remember, when it came to Skyrim Together, he specifically said play Skyrim in co-op to do quests, fight, and explore the world. It was a big part of it for him. Probably a big reason why he created the mod in the first place. And now he's realized there is no exploration. So if there's none of what you loved about the game, why is this person, why would a creator who's probably had to put hundreds of hours into this, he had a whole team with him working on it, volunteers testing it, making sure it worked. It's a huge project. Do you think Bethesda themselves would be capable of turning this into something online of their own accord? I don't think so. We saw Fallout 76. Remember the state of that on launch? And then you've got Starfield that they call a technical wonder. Oh, nothing like this would have been possible even a couple of years ago. I think they even said, oh, this wouldn't have been possible on last-gen consoles. It's just too advanced. And yet this person, this modder, this talented individual with a team was able to get it working for Skyrim, just about did in Starfield. But it's not going to happen because the person's realized, why bother? The game isn't worth my time. And he's not just going to sit on his ass. He sounds like quite a hard worker to do all of this, unpaid by the way. This was before paid mods that Bethesda only just started. This person was purely doing it for free. And I'm sure that's what he wants. If he developed this for anything else, it'd be free too. He's about the passion. But he's not just going to sit there now. He's going to go to probably another game. He's going to find something else where the devs actually care about their customers, about their players. And I'm sure he's going to develop mods for that as well. Maybe he'll do some great work in Baldur's Gate 3. He'll create a custom campaign or something, or some different innovations. They seem to care. They actually just picked up an award for Best Community Supported Game of 2023. That sounds like a good one to develop mods for. The modder realizes he's not saying anything too risky here. It's not too controversial. He's just really saying what everyone else is thinking. And specifically, he says, anyways, everyone already knows this, that the game is trash. Most people agree. There's no need to further repeat the point. Just read any of the dozen of reviews online. Read the Steam reviews. They're at mixed, by the way. They're only going down. That said, I won't be continuing development on Starfield Together. It is dead. I'm not going to put my heart and soul into a mod for a game as mediocre as this. Nor should you. There's a lot of games out there, games with passionate developers, passionate fans, who I'm sure would love to have you, would love to see you developing mods for their games instead, where there's actually care put into them, and they're probably fun. I use Baldur's Gate 3 as an example. There's a lot of indie games. We had Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader come out today. I know that studio, Owlcats Games, they often get a lot of mods. Maybe there's something you can do there if you like that sort of game. It's set in sort of a spacey setting. Maybe that'll be more for you. Anything but Starfield, surely. Still, I did work on it. So I'll just throw my reverse engineered code online, make it open source, in case anyone wants to finish it. Although finishing it is probably still upwards of hundreds of hours of work, and that would have just killed the interest of absolutely anyone who cared about this. I've seen the odd person who tries to say, Starfield's not awful. What are you talking about? This isn't a shit game. It's mediocre. Don't call it shit. That's too much. It's only mediocre. That is the defense of fans at this point, is to say that, oh, you're being hyperbolic. It's a 5 out of 10. It's not a 2 out of 10. Come on, guys, be reasonable. There's no one at this point trying to say that this is a great game. Todd Howard reached his vision. All of those reviews when it came out, that Microsoft, that Bethesda, stick up on advertisements, screens, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Anyone saying that is long gone. They've disappeared. They're hiding in a hole. No one believes them. But I do have to give credit to this modder. I mentioned that even if paid mods were a thing, he probably wouldn't be about that. And to me, this proves it. All that work he did, he's not hiding that, keeping it to himself. He's come out and said, look, I don't give a shit about this game, but if you do, please feel free to finish the work that I started. Here it all is. And he's probably done 70% plus of the work. A bulk of that has been done. I'm sure a lot of the troubleshooting early on even to see if it's feasible. He's done a lot of that. So if anyone cares, they could do it, but we just know no one is going to. Even if there was someone who technically could do it, why would they for Starfield? It's dead in the water. I think a lot of people have been thinking for a while that modders were just going to give up on this game, and we're seeing it now. The proof is in the pudding. Huge Bethesda modders. They have had enough. You had all these defenders months ago saying, yeah, Bethesda didn't do the best job, but you know modders are going to come together and just fix everything. Extreme Cope. How is it even possible? Because the game that was conceived, it was rotten from the very start. The foundation, it sucks. The idea that you've got this huge sprawling space world and you can't even explore space. It's one huge loading screen. This wouldn't have been acceptable in a 1998 space game, and yet it's the year 2023. This company keeps telling us about the technical innovations. I'm sorry, the only people with technical competence are these modders who are ditching your game. He signs off by saying, TLDR, I made a start on Starfield together, the mod, but Starfield is arse, so I stopped working on it. I made it open source in case anyone wants to finish it. No, you can't play it yet, and no one ever will. No one's going to finish this. I'm sure it's great technical work. No one cares enough about Starfield. And if we have a look at what people are saying about this on the Reddit, I know Reddit's not everything, but it seems to be a pretty big community here, nearly 1 million people. The top comment is, I never considered that the modders will fix the game argument only works if modders want to fix the game. They do not. They've had enough. They're ditching it. They're going to play something else. Starfield's dead. Let's be honest. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.